I apologize, I forgot to put up the other one, but I'll get it up. All right, so what we want to do today is we want to go over the rest of the essay and what the essay needs to look like. So you have your introduction completed, and the PowerPoint is available to help you review how to write a thesis statement. But now I want to make sure you understand what the rest of the essay needs to look like. So we call this an inquiry paper because we're inquiring about a topic. It's also called an informational or an expository essay, are all names for this. Okay? All right. So you've already done the introduction. Now we need to work on the body paragraphs of your paper. I can't tell you how many body paragraphs you're going to have. It's all going to depend on how much information you have and how much information that you deem is important for the reader to know. So this is the crux of your topic. This is the information that you have already gathered and collected. The It Says, I Say pre-writing sheets that I had you do, if you go into the I Say column and you look at what you wrote there, that's all the information for your paper. If you did one for the Wikipedia entry and you did one for the additional article that you went and found so that you have a total of 3 references, that will be the body information in your paper. You've already researched and decided what is really important. You have to remember not to repeat yourself. Don't keep repeating the same points over and over again. For example, if you're writing about Emmett Till, the last thing you want to do is you want to keep saying he was beat up by 2 white men. He was beat up by 2 white men. He was beat up by 2 white men. Yeah, we got it. Move on. Okay? So you can use your It Says, I Say sheets to help you with this. In the It Says column, you've already identified quotes from the research that you think are important. You can use those quotes in your informational paper. Now, writing an informational essay is very much like writing an analysis essay when you think about the fact that you're going to state information in your own words and you're going to support it with direct evidence or research that you found. Exact same structure as your analysis essay. It's just that instead of analyzing something, you're just reporting on information. Okay? We're going to drop our quotes to text ratio from 2:1 to 3:1. So for every 3 sentences of your own paraphrasing, your own words of what happened, you're going to support that or back that up with a quote. Now, you're not going to fall into a pattern. 3 sentences, 1 sentence. 3 sentences, 1 sentence. But you want to total up the number of sentences that you have and then make sure you're sitting at a 3:1 ratio. Does everybody understand what I'm talking about with that? Okay. So if I have 12 sentences, how many direct quotes of evidence should I have? 4. 3:1. How many? 4. You're right, Samara, 4. Okay? So that means I have 8 sentences of my own wording and 4 quotations from the research, 4 pieces of evidence. Be very careful that you don't paraphrase something so closely that the evidence that you choose sounds like you're repeating yourself. Do you know what I mean by that? Does that make sense to you? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. The last paragraph is very similar to what you already have done. Look at what it says. This is not a summary of what you have already stated. These are your conclusions of your ideas that you have presented. Why are these facts important? What do you think is significant about this information? Why should your reader know this? Can you make any connections to our world today? In other words, always answer the so what question. Thank you, Smara. No, I appreciate you responding. You're going to write the first draft of your paper. It's due on Monday. But we're going to use the last 45 minutes of class to help you write it. Now, those of you that are in honors, you have a little bit different scenario. Those of you that are in honors, you not only have to do what I just explained, but you now need to also research 2 additional acts of racist behavior that occurred in the Deep South between 1920 and 1955, 1960. Okay? If you need help with the Google search on finding that information, we have adults in here who can help you with that. Because one of the things you are going to do is you're going to connect that this was a broader issue than just one isolated case of a young man named Emmett Till or a group of boys called the Scottsboro Boys. We saw in the film The Help which activist, civil rights activist, was killed in his driveway. Do you remember? Who did we see on TV that they reported on? Edgar Mevers. Was gunned down in his driveway because he was fighting for civil rights for people of color. So there are lots of examples of other examples of racist behavior in the Deep South during this era. Okay? The assassination of Martin Luther King is one of them. The Freedom Riders is another. I'll give you a couple hints of of things to look for. Okay, the Ku Klux Klan beating, hangings, lynchings of people. Okay? So if you're in honors, your challenge is a little bit greater. Are there any questions about your first draft? Samara?